Hey YouTubers, I wanted to post up a video of, I'm going to call it the best way I've found to clean out the inside of your coolant overflow or your coolant reservoir on vehicles where they have a lot of, built up corrosion. Mine happen to have a bunch of the black sealant that people sell, that people buy that gooey black pellet crap that they put in their coolant system to try to seal up a little hole in their radiator or whatever, which basically ends up being just a short-term band-aid that clogs up your heater core, and then you're into a much bigger repair in the end. But we'll just call that a different learning experience. But this coolant tank that I got from Richard came off an old, I think it was a 92 Typhoon, GMC Typhoon that he bought for parts, and it was just full, just caked inside with that black gooey residue that's supposed to plug up holes in your cooling system. And I tried, I think I'd mentioned in a previous video, I tried to clean this thing out, and it had gotten to the point where it was clean enough that any normal person could run it. But I just hate looking at something that I can see is filthy inside. Does that make sense? Like, I cleaned it where I wasn't worried about a bunch of contamination or anything like that getting into the coolant system. But when you looked at the bottle, you could see the crud on the inside of the bottle just, beaming through there. And I was like, man, I'm not putting that junky crap on my car. So I was torn, because it's only like $20 plus tax and fuel to drive over to LMC and get a brand new coolant overflow or reservoir. So I was like, well, it's only 20 bucks. I'll probably just go buy one so it doesn't look, unsightly under the hood. And the funny thing was, excuse me, a lot of people were saying, well, who cares what it looks like? It's under the hood. You don't drive around with your hood off all the time. I said, yeah, I know. I said, but it's just, like a personal preference to look over there and say, okay, my coolant's full, and not question yourself for putting some dirty piece of junk on there. But I tried everything from oven cleaner to just as boiling hot water with what we were using, dishwashing soap, Dawn dishwashing soap. Let me specify, because everybody was like, oh yeah, boiling water and Dawn dish soap will clean it up just real quick. It doesn't. But moving on, I tried everything I could find through suggestions, YouTube, whatever. I tried doing little bent brushes, like those little brush kits you can buy at Harbor Freight for like cleaning engines or cleaning parts. I tried those bent in, all different shapes to try to scrub the inside. Nope, wasn't winning. Couldn't get this stupid thing clean. And then finally I was like, you know what? After the stupid Easy Off oven cleaner didn't clean it, I was like, I'm going to try to put, I have, excuse me, I have 8 bolts, just like various sizes between, like, I would say 5/16 and 3/8 bolts that are about ranging from a 1/2 inch long up to maybe 1 1/4 inches long. I grabbed a handful of those, so I had 8 of those. I dropped in here. I'm hoping you guys can see the liquid down inside of this thing. I have that much brake clean. However much that is, I have no clue. I just had it in a plastic container. But I had this much brake clean in the bottom of there. Pulled the little squeeze thing off of one of those deals you check your antifreeze level with. Sealed off this port with that little ball off of my antifreeze checker. Just made a push on, piece of hose and a bolt to seal off this. Now keep in mind, if you're not running a GMC Typhoon or Cyclone, you're probably not going to have this nipple on your overflow tank, because this one actually goes from this tank to the water to air intercooler on those turbo engines. But you have to seal off your cap too, because this is a vented cap. So I just took a sandwich bag and put it underneath the cap and tightened it up. And I've done all this cleaning off camera because I didn't want you guys to have to listen to all that junk. But you literally, you just shake it. You literally just go side to side, end to end, and shake it as long as you need to for that aggregate to break loose all the contaminants inside of there. It absolutely works great and is the easiest thing I've found anywhere to clean the inside of these coolant tanks. So if you guys are in the same boat as I am, or know somebody that is, or ever run into it, try running that brake clean with some bolts, not the nuts. I mean, you can throw the nuts in there, but you want those sharp edges on the head of the bolt to be able to fly around in there and be your aggregate to scrub the inside of that tank. I am totally amazed, and after striking out with everything else I tried to try to get the stupid thing clean, to have something as simple as brake clean and a handful of bolts clean the crap out of the inside of this tank, it's just amazing. So anyway, I wanted to make a video about it because I had mentioned it, I think, in a previous video, kind of half-heartedly, you know, oh yeah, I was cleaning it with these bolts, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna post up an actual video with a little bit better description of how I sealed off the tank, threw some bolts in there. I would imagine that's got to be at least I'd say a half a can, maybe up to a full can of brake clean. That was just brake clean we had, where we had a case of it, and one of the stupid cans had fallen off the shelf, and it broke the stupid little valve. The little valve on the top got snapped off to where we couldn't just stick another valve on there. So we basically just took and drained that stupid can, because, you know, brake clean's not cheap. So I drained all that brake clean into a what was that? It was something like Sharkleberry Kool-Aid plastic container, and sealed it up. And I thought, well, if it evaporates, who cares? At least I tried to save it. And gosh, that's been almost 2 years ago, and that stuff was still in that plastic container. So I was like, all right, I'll use it. I'm game. I'll use it. So I just want to kind of follow up on that. How I finally, against all odds, and a lot of my friends were laughing at me because they're like, "You're so cheap. Why don't you just go buy one?" I'm like, "Because I want to try to use this one." And they're like, "Oh, I've tried." A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I've tried to clean those things, and once they get dirty like that, you just throw them away because there's no way you can clean them." Well, that's, a lot of people feel the same way I do. Because when someone tells you you can't do it, it gives you that extra, incentive to be like, oh, can't do it, huh? Well, let's see if we can figure this out and try to get this thing usable. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. And in the end, I ended up winning that battle. And I just mocked it up again because I had a little bit of stuff here on the top. I'm still trying to, I don't know if you guys can see in the video, right there, there's like a dime size piece of just kind of a discoloration that I've been trying to get up to come loose and clean, because I want to make sure that it doesn't bug me. So, but it's 100% better than it was. I got all the scaly, what I would call like old antifreeze, or I don't know what it is. It's just something that builds up on the inside of these things. All that scaly crap came off. All that oily, sticky, I'm just going to call it a sealant, came out. And I attribute that to the bolts being, of course, being able to scrape that crap off inside there. But the actual detergent factor, or that strength of the brake clean, really breaks through that oily, sticky crap. So anyway, I'm going to get this thing loaded up tonight sometime, and hopefully I'll be able to get a couple more videos up, because I'm going to download I made a tune for the Blazer that follows the Sloppy Mechanics base tune of everything you can do to the vehicle without having a dyno. Does that make sense? Like, he had posted a video on, I think it was on Facebook, that kind of walked over there's certain things that you can improve on your tune where you don't have to have it on the dyno, and you don't have to have like your wideband hooked up. They're just modifications that he starts with as what he considers like his base tune before he starts tweaking for maximum power. So I made all those changes to a tune on that HP tuners, and I got to get that thing downloaded to the Blazer, because Ethan, the guy we borrowed the HP tuners from, he's getting ready to fire up his, what is that thing? It's a supercharged I think it's a Cavalier. It's like a super built, like 4-cylinder supercharged or turbo car. I don't remember. But anyway, he was nice enough to loan us that HP tuners, and he had contacted Richard and said, "Hey, I'm gonna need that back because it's time to get my car running." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I better put that stupid tune on there so I can give him his tuners back." So anyway, got a little bit off track, which is easy to do, I guess. But anyway, it's really crappy weather here. It's overcast. It's only like 50 degrees, which, I know some of you guys around the country and the world are still dealing with snow and ice and all that kind of junk, so I won't complain too much. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope to get you guys to watch a few more videos, and if you have any questions at all, just please put them in the comments. Thank you.